Oh baby, it's friggin' freezing outside. Hi, it's Kate from thebabybuncher.com. Long time no see. I'm not going to go into why because, hey, you don't really care and it would be boring. So let's just say that I got off my game and now I want to get back on it again. And I want to try and challenge myself to do a video every day, or at least every weekday. Let's not call it a New Year's resolution because I kind of hate New Year's resolutions. To me, New Year's resolutions are like basically what atheists came up with because they thought Lent was a good idea but didn't want to be associated with Christianity. Controversial! So, today I'm talking about how the cold is dominating my life. So I have 3 young kids. One kind of knows how to dress himself, the other 2 do not, but he does. But the first one who knows how to dress himself, he doesn't really know very well. So basically, it is freezing. It has been for like a week. Before that we had a ton of snow, like about 4 or 5 feet over a period of about 4 days. So I guess that's almost a meter if you're a European, or you just don't like cool. Oh god, I think I woke the baby up with my singing. Whoops. Yeah, so I think that's about a meter of snow. And then the temperature, well, you know, it has to hover around near to 0 in order for snow to happen usually. And then the temperature dropped like a stone. And for the last week, in the mornings, it's minus 16 degrees in the morning every day, which is about 5 degrees Fahrenheit, so minus 15 Celsius. And high point of the day is minus 3 usually, minus 3 Celsius, which is about 25 Fahrenheit. So yay, it's freezing and it's horrible. And it turns out the heating in my house doesn't work very well. And I have a baby and a toddler and a 4-year-old and they're all kind of skinny and vulnerable, so that's fun. So I wanted to give you some tips that I've basically been learning as I've been going along about how to keep your kids safe and warm, or at least comfortable, in freezing temperatures. So, tip number 1. Layers. So I come from England where it never really gets that cold, let's be honest. It feels kind of cold because of the wind chill factor and humidity and yada yada yada, but it's not really that cold, so you don't really have to deal with it, and in my experience, Brits don't really know how to deal with heavy cold. Austrians know what to do. So what they do is they don't tend to wear really thick clothes. I mean, this is fantastic, to be fair. This is like a quilt, like a double, triple quilt in pant trouser form for my baby. But mostly that's not what people do here. They wear layers. So even adult males will be wearing long johns, under trousers as we call them in German, or tights, pantyhose, and then a layer of trousers over the top, and then maybe even ski trousers over the top of that. For the top half of you, at least 2 t-shirts, 1, 2 sweaters or jumpers. Tip number 2. Oh, I have a hat for my child, I'll be okay. Wrong. You have to have at least 2 or 3 hats per child, because let me tell you, they will get wet, they will get dirty, they will lose them in the snow, they will get buried in the snow, and you won't find them until the snow melts a month later. So you need a minimum of 3 hats per kid, and gloves, and preferably 2 pairs of boots, because they're going to get walk in the snow and be stupid and get the snow inside their gloves and inside their boots, and they're going to be soaked, and then the next time they wear them they're going to get a cold. Tip number 3. Mittens, not gloves. Have you ever tried putting gloves on a small child? It's a nightmare. They just don't understand the concept of spreading their fingers out so that all their fingers go in the right places. Also, they're never as thick when they're in glove form, so you need to have thick mittens, preferably skiing mittens or skiing gloves. Those work fantastic and tend to be more waterproof. But you really need to put the coat up around the end of the mittens, because if you have it with a gap, they will inevitably try and drag their hand through the snow and get it stuck inside, and then their hands will get cold and wet. Tip number 4, I just recently learned. It's amazing. Lanolin or Vaseline. If you're going out and it's really cold, rub a layer of Vaseline or lanolin on their faces, any exposed skin, particularly for my son John, my middle kid. I think at some point he must have gotten really cold, my bad, and it must have hurt his hands. So now he's very sensitive to the cold. And if we go out and his gloves inevitably seem to fall off all the time, or he takes them off, I don't know which, but like if in a 10-minute drive his gloves will have come off 5 times, then without this he will be in tears, his hands will be swollen and red by the time we get to daycare, which is 10 minutes away from here. He will be crying and he will be in pain. But 2 days ago I was told the tip, rub some lanolin or Vaseline on their skin. My gosh, it makes a huge difference. Lanolin is not the cheapest thing, pure lanolin. No, John, don't touch that. No playing with the camera. Good boy. Lanolin is not the cheapest thing, and you definitely don't want it with added water. So you don't want cerulean, which is lanolin with water, which is more of a creamy consistency. What you want is the goopy yellow stuff that's really thick and hard to spread. And the same with Vaseline. You really want the goopy stuff, not the watery stuff, because if it's got water in it, then that is obviously going to kind of be counterproductive, because you're putting water on your child's skin, which conducts the cold and makes them feel colder. But it is amazing. Don't put it on the palms of their hands, because obviously that's just going to be messy. But the outbacks of their hands, the skin, the neck, forehead, and it makes a huge difference. That was tip 4. Yeah, tip number 5, try and get your kids to start liking tea. I know that's crazy, especially for English people. I'm not talking about black tea because, you know, what kind of kid likes black tea? I guess some do, in British kids. But basically over here we have what they call kids tea, kinder tea. And this is usually a really fruity tea made from blueberries or strawberries. And you obviously don't do it with boiling hot water, you just do it with nicely warmed water. And it's something great to give them when they come in from the cold, and if you really encourage it, eventually it could become a treat. Oh, do I have any more tips for you? Oh, tip number 6. Make sure that you have a minimum of 2 blankets on their bed, preferably one of them, instead of being a duvet or comforter, you can have a fleece blanket. This one's not so much what I mean, but like normal fleece blankets, you can get them from a lot of supermarkets really, and over here they're super cheap and they really fold up really compact, so you can just stick it inside your handbag if it's a decent sized handbag. And in fact I've been using them so much over the years that John decided it was his blankie, and he's obsessed with them and carries them everywhere he goes, which means that I have to wash them a lot, but I have at least 10 in the house and they come in useful all the time. Thank you. Please like this video. Tell me what you do to keep your kids warm, because I mean I've been struggling, I can tell you. There's been a lot of tears, especially before I learnt about the tip with the lanolin. I hope to hear from you soon. Please subscribe to my channel. Bye!